Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Welcome to Tuesday Night Knit Chat. And as we always start off, if someone could just let us know that you can see us and hear us. We're coming to you from Southwestern Ontario in Canada.
Yes.
Okay, there's no other way to say it, on a crappy day. It was a crappy day today.
It's cold. It's really cold today.
It's cold. It's like sweater weather. It was raining most of the day, but oh well. Oh, well, it was a good day to sit inside and knit. I didn't even go out. I told Ross I'd go out and get some groceries, and I said, nah, I don't feel like it. So, it's like too rainy. I'm just going to stay in. So
right?
That's the trouble now with after the pandemic. And now I have all my workout stuff at home, so I don't have to go to the gym. So it's like, there's not that many reasons to go out.
I had to go out this morning and it was raining cats and dogs, literally. Well, maybe not literally, but it was pouring. It was pouring so hard. And where was my umbrella? In the trunk of my car.
Oh, I know.
So I had to put on another coat just to get out to the car.
Yep.
Oh, anyway, it's chaos.
But yeah, it was dark. Like really dark. So
yeah, it's dark and cold today.
Anyway.
19
Anyway,
degrees.
but it was we have the air off and the windows are opened up, so that's nice.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, it's not super cold out. It's just, you can feel that fall is coming.
It's sweater weather.
It's getting there. It's getting there. I think about all those wintry sweaters that I've knit, and I'll get a chance to wear them soon.
Yes,
so.
yes.
But I love fall. I just don't like that after fall comes winter.
No, I know. But autumn is actually my favorite season of the year.
So. Yeah. And I do like winter for the first part. I don't know if I could live somewhere where there's not 4 seasons, because by the time it gets to the end of summer, I'm kind of ready for summer to be over. And by the time it gets to the end of winter, I'm definitely ready for winter to be over.
Yes,
but I do like having the 4 seasons. So anyway, we're a knitting podcast, not a weather podcast. We are mostly knitting. We do other things too. We do some sewing, spinning, weaving, cooking, various different things.
I was busy baking.
My name's Noelle. I don't even think I've said that yet. My name's Noelle, and this is
Kelly.
Kelly, and we are Knits and Pieces is our YouTube channel, but this is our Tuesday night knit chat cafe where we join with a whole lot of our friends just to share our knitting experiences and our week. And we're just, so happy to. I mean, it's so nice. I didn't have to go out anywhere, and I still get to knit with all these people.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So, anyway, I saw that Kim was in here and she finished her first ranunculus and she gets it now.
Yay. She gets it? Good. Yes. Good. And Stacy is stuck at the airport for a delayed flight, so we're keeping her company there, she says.
Oh no. I hope you have knitting, Stacy.
I'm guessing she does.
I'm sure you must. You must.
Yes.
I think airports should have like a knitting store in them just for emergencies.
There should be a knitter's lounge. Never mind
the
traveler's lounge. Where's the knitter's lounge, right?
That's right.
With all the spare things you might need.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh, Sharon says her trees are already turning colors.
Oh dear. And where are you, Sharon?
Yeah.
Do we know where Sharon is? Okay, well, welcome to everybody. If this is your, if you're returning, welcome back. We're thrilled to have you here. And if you're brand new and you wonder who we're talking to, there is a chat happening on the side of the screen. So if you're on a device, any type of a device that has a keyboard, you can see the chat. And please, we encourage you to join in the chat as well. And if there's anything that you want to let us know about, or that you'd like to let the group know about, they're a very fun group, very welcoming. And so.
Yes, and Stacy says that she has 4 projects and a bag of new yarn, so she's all set.
Well, hopefully it's not too long of a layover.
Just stay there and knit for as long as you
That's
want.
Right.
Anyway, and someone else just said, I just missed it here. It went by fast. Just finished their first ranunculus too. So Yeah,
Cindy.
it's
Cindy finished the first one
yes,
this weekend.
Cindy.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a great versatile sweater. So I'm just trying to find other patterns that kind of have the same vibe so that I'm not knitting the same. It would be boring for you guys if we just came and knit the same sweater.
Yeah, knit another ranunculus this week, but
so
it's such a wearable profile too, right? I don't
yes.
think I've ever seen anybody that was wearing one that I didn't care for. So there's that as well.
Yeah, and so many different yarns that you can do it in, and I'm sure I haven't explored them all yet.
Absolutely.
Anyway. Okay, so we usually start with a little bit of admin, and in the admin portion, like we go through some of the comments, some of the questions that we had over the past week. And since there's a wealth of knowledge out there, someone will be able to help out and have the answer to some of these questions. So one of the first ones that I had was someone was talking about row gauge and that they have a really hard problem getting row gauge. They can get stitch gauge, but not necessarily row gauge. And what can you do about that? The only way that you can really change your gauge at all is by changing your needle size. Or one thing you might consider with row gauge is you might want to change your needle material. Like if you're knitting with metal, you might want to try wood. Unfortunately, if you've got stitch gauge, most likely if you change needle size, your stitch gauge is going to change. Your row gauge,
Absolutely.
stitch gauge will also change.
Mm-hmm.
So, and if you really can't get it, maybe it's a particular yarn that you're using.
Mm-hmm.
But the only thing that you can do if you've got stitch gauge, but you don't have row gauge, you can just do some math. And when you do your pattern, you're basically going to do it based on measurements as opposed to number of rows. And the only place where you're really going to run into a lot of trouble is if you've got a yoked pattern that might go on longer because your row gauge is taking you less rows, so that the pattern might run down below the yoke of the sweater. But for more plain things, you probably can adjust it fairly easily. It's just when you've got a detailed texture pattern or a detailed yoke color work pattern, that's a little bit harder to adjust because there's a certain amount of rows per pattern repeat.
That's right.
Anybody else have any suggestions?
No, that's pretty much what I do. It really depends on the project, whether or not you can live with that row gauge. Row gauge is often what I will be off on as well. I can usually very easily achieve a stitch gauge, but row gauge is always going to be the trickier beast to master. And gauge is it's that sort of elusive thing that we're all chasing anyways. So it really just depends on what you feel you can bear. And again, like you said, it's definitely the yoke where the issue is going to happen in a sweater. If one thing to be mindful of, though, is if you do have a pattern where you're not anywhere near the row gauge, hopefully that pattern has a good schematic so that you can actually measure what your distance is going to be. Like how long should it be from the center of the neck to the yoke? Especially if you're not familiar with making multiple sweaters where you basically know what your measurement is. So you'll want to make sure that you have a good schematic, and that's helpful as well.
Yeah. And you also got to watch if you're doing like something with set in sleeves, right? You're going to have the depth of again, it all goes into the depth of your armhole. If something tells you a certain amount of rows, then row gauge is really important. If it just tells you to knit to a certain measurement, then you should be okay. So just something to keep in mind. So we have someone just asked a question here. Oh, Sherry is looking for a Barbie sweater for her size 6 granddaughter in bright pink. Any recommendations? I always think the flax sweater. I don't know if you want to do a pullover, or is the Barbie sweater a particular style, or is it just the color?
The look at my holes would be a really fun sweater in Barbie pink, I think, for a little girl to wear over top of some other clothes.
Okay, it doesn't go down to kid sizes, so you would have to adjust it.
Oh, for a size 6, yeah, that's pretty small.
For a size 6,
pretty small. Velvet Acorn. That's her patterns go all the way up to usually a size 6. So she would probably have quite a few options. And Sherry, if you could tune back into last week, was it last week that we had the link?
I didn't have that. I wanted to ask about that because it was Kim that had said that post 160 that she had a whole list. I don't know where post 160 is. I
Oh,
looked at various comments.
I think it was in one of the knit chats, the post 160. If Kim's in here tonight, maybe she can point us in the defined direction, but I thought it was in the knit chat on Ravelry. And anyway, she did. She had a very, dare I say, exhaustive list that she was very kind to put together for us of some children's patterns, then where everybody could find them. And she had links in there as well. So
okay, well, Kim, if you could maybe
Kim's in here.
Okay, if you could maybe send me a link, Kim, like on Ravelry, and then I can just link it.
Yes.
But like I said, I tried to look and I couldn't find it, but.
Okay. So Sherry, if you check tonight back after the podcast is done, and if you check tomorrow morning, once we get the show notes in there, then there hopefully will be a link in there for you to follow, and there will be a quite a list of children's knits for you in there. So, okay.
And there are lots of yarn companies that have, like, it seems like that bright Barbie pink is a really popular color right now. So there's lots of hand dyers that have got that color. So if you're looking for something, I know Leo and Roxy carries a lot in that pink color. I know that the Knitting Loft in Toronto, a lot of their own brand, they have that hot pink color. I think they've got some called electric pink.
Yes.
Who else? I can't think of. Full Moon Fibers, I know, has that. So that it is quite a popular color right now. So to actually find the yarn shouldn't be too difficult. So.
Okay. And Marianne noted that a love note would be really cute too. And that's Tin Can Knits
love note is cute
pattern. And that does go all the way from a small child up to an adult.
Yes. And you don't have to do it with the mohair. You can do a love note, like just using a DK weight yarn, which might be more appropriate if you're going to wash it a lot for a 6-year-old. So
yes. There's lots of finishes in here tonight too. I'm just kind of reading through. Cindy finished a friend-to-friend shrug. She loves it. Christine is ready to cast off tomorrow. She can't wait. And
it's a good thing that they finish things.
I know, because we didn't finish anything this week, did we?
I did. I finished one thing. One thing. But anyway.
Okay, so we had a couple.
Timber Yarns also has a really.
That's right, because I'm working on that sock, and it's a beautiful pink, and it would definitely be a good Barbie pink. So did you have any more admin questions? Because there were still a couple.
Yes. So that was the row gauge. Another one was someone had asked, because I talked about last week about the alternating cable cast on.
Yes.
And using it for socks, and whether or not it had the same stretch as using normally I would use a German twisted cast on. So as you can see, I haven't gotten any further in my in my sock. But what I did was I brought this sock out. So both these socks are 72 stitch socks. So this one is, I just did the German twisted cast on. This is the one I did with the alternating cable cast on. So when I put them together, there's just as much stretch in that cable cast on as there is in the German twisted.
Right.
So
that looks good.
So I'm really pleased with it, because I thought, I haven't worn it, and this is a man's sock, so I can't really tell yet. But when I do that, like stretch it out, I'm getting just as much stretch, if not actually even a little bit more in the alternating cable cast on. So I would definitely say it's a good cast on for a pair of socks. And like I said, what I really like about it is the fact that you don't have to pull out that long strand of yarn and measure how much yarn you need to start. You just start with a slip knot. So you can just leave a little tail like this and then go on with your cast on. So I really do like that aspect of it.
Good.
So
Julia should have been on here tonight. Julia finished this week. She finished her blueberry vodka lemonade, her fractal danger shawl, and her Aurora cabin shawl. A lot of FOs. Julia. Julia.
You're showing us up.
Stacy wants to know if we've ever showed a video of our stash and how we store it. No.
Never happening. Not happening.
No, never showed a video. I don't know. I could possibly show a video. Mine is all sort of on one wall, so it would be easy enough to talk about at some point. I might do that. And,
I know, but it's hard to because it's both of ours are all in bins.
Yes, but I mean, I think she's referencing sort of how do we organize the stash? How do we manage the bins? That type of thing. So, but okay. I had a couple of questions that came my way too. One of them was a sewing question and wondering about the dresses that I wear, the jumper style dresses and the pinafores, and wondering what the patterns were. So I can quickly go through a couple of the patterns, but I will also post some links when I go back in tonight to do the timestamps. I will put some links in for some of the favorite patterns that I have. Probably number one on my list is the Hinterland dress by So Liberated. I've made several of them now, and I make each one almost a little bit differently. And the other nice thing about the Hinterland is there's all sorts of really creative hacks online for switching up the style of that dress. So I would say if there was one dress pattern that you were going to buy, that would be the one dress pattern I would buy. And then you have so many other options available to you. Other ones that I like are dresses by Helen's Closet, Sew House 7. There's the York Pinafore that I really like, and several others. But I will put a list in for that after. And then I had one more question about a tool that I referenced a while back.
Oh, that's yeah.
My sweater blockers. So I had mentioned that I got them at Princess Auto, and this is the name brand. It's called Power Weld Quality Welding Products, not a knitting product. And this is stainless steel, but the size is 1/16 of an inch. And these pieces are 36 inches long. So what I had done after that, let me get one out to show you. They come in this handy storage tube with a nice grippy lid. I have lots in here that I haven't adjusted yet, but I'll get one that I have. So my husband was kind enough to take this out to the garage, and maybe I'll get one that I haven't adjusted. There you go. So the welding rods, when you get them, they sort of have this this flat edge on it. You can see at the top by my hand. So what he does is he takes them out to the garage and he just snips that off. And then using a grinding wheel, he does this to it where he gets a nice rounded finish. So it's not sharp. There's nothing picky on there. He keeps grinding away on it until he gets a really nice finish. The cords are super flexible. Yeah. So if you're blocking, I don't use them as much for sweaters unless I have some lace in the sweater that I want to pull out. But I would never do a shawl without using these rods. And then you can put them in, and then I just use the regular T-pins. It's an incredibly affordable option because it's a pound. You get a pound. It goes by the weight, a pound of welding rod in here. I would say there's probably 20, maybe more. And I had them cut some in half, so I have shorter pieces too. And I think this whole packet of rods cost me $8 and change. And I like that lid because it kind of has a little loop in it too. So I just hang them on a pegboard that I have set up down here.
I know, and I bought actual blocking wires, and they cost a lot more.
They cost a lot more. And you probably didn't get about 24 of them.
No. So.
All right.
Okay, another question that I had was, this was just a comment that someone was talking about how we talked about last week, how Kelly, you had twisted your cast on after 2 or 3 rows. You noticed that you're.
Yes. Okay. I saw that comment.
Yeah, so someone said that what they did, they discovered it later on. So what they did was they just dropped down that one stitch, your beginning stitch. So they dropped it down to the cast on, twisted the project so that everything was the right way, and then laddered back up. And then the only difference that they had was just that little tiny bump at the bottom. So I thought I would definitely try that before I would rip out again. So that was, I thought, a genius idea.
Genius. Yeah. Sometimes the ideas are so good that I kick myself that I couldn't have come up with that. But that is an amazing idea. When I read that,
you're just so frustrated in the moment, and you don't want to have to deal with it. And yeah. So anyway, I would definitely try that. Maybe I should cast something on and twist it and just try it.
Intentionally twist it. Yes.
So, and then the other comment, or this was an email that I had gotten, and it just came in about an hour before, so I haven't really had time to explore it too much, but this was someone who is doing color work, and they have done color work in the past in the round using 2 hands and found that was fine. But now a sweater that they're doing is knit back and forth. And so I believe what the gist of it was, catching floats when you're going on a purl side. And I know it is like when you're doing knitting flat color work, your right side row is basically the same as if you're doing knitting in the round. The purl side row for me is a pain in the butt. It really is. It's just like you've got your 2 yarns. It's hard. You can do it, but it seems like counterintuitive. And so, yeah, a lot of times with the purl rows, I do end up with a mess at the end of the row and have to untangle things. But I like I said, I haven't looked at this. Does anybody have like a quick fix or something that makes it easy? I know that I'm going to have to look at it more and see what tutorials I can find. I just tried to avoid doing color work flat. I would probably switch the pattern to in the round, but you do sometimes get up to the top of a yoke. And if you're not going to steek, you do have to do some flat. But anyway, does anybody, or maybe I'll have to look and see if there's any tutorials that show that. But it's definitely not the easiest.
No.
Yes.
I'm laughing because I'm reading a comment where Kim is talking about a wearable toilet. And I thought, what is she talking about? But she's talking about a wearable toile for a dress or a garment that you make out of a lesser fabric, not the fabric that you intend to make it out of. And then you can find out if that pattern is going to work for you.
Like a muslin.
Like a muslin. Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Not a toilet.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, so I will look into that question about the purling and color work and see if I have any. I think most of us agree that we don't like doing it. Is what I can see from the comments, but I'll look into and see if I can find anything for next week. I'll write that down for my homework.
Yes. And Becky said that she had throwback flat. And I know that there were quite a few people that complained about that cardigan, and she said that it was difficult to do. So I know that a lot of people switched that.
I did it.
That pattern, and they did. Did you do yours flat or did you steek?
No, I did it flat.
You did it flat.
Yeah, and it's just kind of like these are just rows I have to get through.
That's right. Yes. Yes.
So.
Okay.
Yeah, and I agree with you, Susan. She says she just goes back to knitting with one hand and picking up and dropping the color as she needs it. But I think doing that where it comes in is if you have to catch a float. So then you've almost got to put one color over top of your needle, bring the other around it, and go across that way. So
yeah, it's tricky.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. And Susan said she steeked the throwback. And yes, Susan, that's what I should have done.
Yes.
So.
Just wanted to go back to one of the comments that I pulled out. Sarah is giving a thank you. We had a viewer, we were talking about ironing boards, and we had a viewer send in and refer us to the Reliance ironing board. And Sarah says that she bought one and she can report back that it is very stable. She was talking about it at the coffee shop on Saturday, and she was saying how much she was enjoying it. So.
Okay.
Okay.
Did you have any other questions?
No, but before we leave that, Julia is just now reporting that Andrea of Fruity Knitting demonstrates purling and color work on episode 18.
On episode 18. Okay. So episode 18 of Fruity Knitting, go and watch that, and she'll demonstrate how to do purling and color work. So I will have to go watch that. I'm sure I've watched it at some point, but it doesn't register until it's actually when you're doing it. So. Okay, so that was all that I had for admin. I wrote down, I'll go watch that and see if I can see if it helps. And so thanks, Julia.
All right. Should we move on to what we're wearing tonight?
Yes. Okay. Go ahead. You go first. I will find your banner. Did you make a banner?
I did. Did. I am wearing the Heartwarmer tee by Justina Lorkowska because it's cold enough to do so today. This was a pattern I thoroughly enjoyed making from the beginning of the sweater right through to the end. I didn't want the sweater to end. And I did put in a picture. Yeah.
I pulled it up.
So that you can see. So it is a cropped sweater, and I intended it to be cropped. I think the original pattern makes it a little bit longer. The yarn that I'm using is the Sonder Sunday Morning. Is it 4-ply?
4-ply.
4-ply. And yes, and the colorway is Free Spirit. And I absolutely love every single thing about this sweater, even the baubles, which are small baubles because I'm not into the big baubles, but I think that these are just the perfect size baubles. And like I said, I absolutely love this. It has a really nice pattern, even going down through the body. I'm trying to remember if the original pattern, I think, may have been a short sleeve sweater. I think I chose to make it long. I'm really trying to remember back to what the picture looked like now. The pattern designer, I think it may have been a short sleeve sweater, and I chose to make them 3/4 sleeves so I could wear it a little bit longer into the season. But I would highly recommend this pattern. It's incredibly well written, and it was very fun to make because
I've knit some of her patterns.
Doing something different all along, and I really like it. And the lace that's on the body, it's petite enough that I don't feel the need to even wear something underneath the sweater. Like I can wear it just against my skin and not feel like, there are too much of me exposed. So, and also I like it because I'm not going to grab my bust again, but like across the chest where you would normally not want lace to be, it's a more solid pattern there. So you've only just got some really nice lace across the top and then a little bit on the body. So really happy with this sweater. Highly recommend it.
Kim wants to know the name of your your pants pattern.
The pleat pant by sorry, Kim, I can't remember.
Put it under the notes with the dress patterns.
Okay. Yeah.
And Kathy wanted to know if I did purl color work in my Marie Wallen sweater. I've done 2 Marie Wallen sweaters. One was a round yoke, so there was no purling in that. And then the other one was a cardigan, but I steeked all the way up to the neck. I steeked the sleeves. I steeked even the way it went this way. So nope, I didn't have to purl anywhere on it. So if it did actually call for you purling, but I didn't want to. So I figured out a way to do it without having to purl. So, okay.
Just want to send out a hello to Jennifer. She's checking us out for the first time on a live. She's from Australia.
Hi, Jennifer. So she's in winter. She's in sweater weather right now.
She's in winter. Yes, she's in sweater weather. Yes.
Okay, so I am wearing Look at My Holes by James N. Watts. And this is done in Noro Kakagori. This is yarn that I got in at Elgin Knitworks when we were there for the mini meetup. At the mini meetup, the 3-ply girls, Joyce and Angie and Irene, all had on their Look at My Holes, and I loved it. So I got the yarn and I started it there. So I had it finished last week, but I didn't have it blocked. Now I've blocked it, and I really love this yarn. It just like the drape in it after it was blocked, because it's got, I think it's 50%, I wrote it down here, it's 50% cotton, 30% silk, 10% viscose, and 10% polyamide. And it's really nice. And it comes in 200-gram skeins. And I think I used like a skein and a half of it. So really like it. I really like this sweater. I probably will make more. I don't know. And Ross really liked it. And it's funny because I was looking through here, and Isabel had said that she showed this picture to her husband and he really liked it. And I remember Joyce saying like her husband really liked it. So,
there's a theme there. There's a theme.
I don't know. And Ross wasn't sure about it when I was making it, but he did really like it when it was done. And it's just kind of like I've just got on a sundress. So it's just kind of a nice little top to put over top of it. So you're not exposed, because you can still see through it, but it just gives you a little bit more of a finished look, I guess.
It does. So yeah. I don't think it's going to give you any warmth. It's not a sweater weather sweater.
No, it's not. It's not meant to be a sweater to give you any warmth, but it also looked cute over just a little white tank top, which, I'm sorry, at the age I'm at now, I'm probably not going too many places where I'm going to wear a sundress without something over it, or a tank top without something over it, other than to the beach or something. So it's just kind of nice, that nice little layer to go over and just, I don't know, feel like you're kind of dressed.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, I don't mean dressed, because you can wear what you want, but I don't know. It just kind of finishes it. So, and Gina, the yarn is Noro Kakagori. So it's a DK weight yarn. There's lots of different versions of this sweater. Like some people have done it really super crop. Some people have done it longer. Some people have done it long enough to be like a bathing suit cover up.
Yes. Yeah.
Which actually would be really cute. You could do one like almost a dress length for a bathing suit cover up.
Yes.
Anyway, I really like it. I'm happy with it. So
yeah, it looks great. It really does.
Thanks. I might even do one that's not pink.
No. You maybe shouldn't wear it under the bridge.
No, I won't.
Your pickup artist, I have to tell this, your pickup artist was hard at it yesterday. I had an appointment in Sarnia and I had about an hour before I was meeting friends for dinner. So I thought, okay, I have my knitting. I'll go sit underneath the bridge. I didn't get out of my car. I didn't feel like getting my chair out and everything. So I just was sitting in the car. This truck pulls up a few spots away from me and this man gets out and he waltzes right over to my car door. And it's the man from under the bridge, the gentleman. And right away, he says, oh, I think I talked to you a couple of weeks ago. And I said, no. I said, I don't think it was me. But anyway, he said, do you want to go for a walk? And I said, no, I'm heading out to dinner with my friends. And then again, he's like, are you married? And I said, yes. Yes, I'm married.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Anyway, I didn't want Noelle seconds.
Believe me, there was no firsts.
Well, and then I was having dinner with my friends last night, and one of them told me that she had been under the bridge with her mom one day, and they were listening to him. He was playing his accordion, and he asked her to go for a walk and asked her if she was married. So I think it's a common theme. I think if you're female, you're going to get asked.
Well, yeah, I agree, Wendy. It is a little bit creepy. And I think the thing is, like, if he was like 50 and not 80, he'd be in trouble.
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
But
so, okay.
No, Isabel, I think he just has a woman fetish, not a knitting fetish. Anyway. So, okay. Well, did you finish anything?
No, I did not.
I think I already asked that. Okay.
You did.
I have one finish. It is my Florencia tee.
Oh, you did finish it. Okay.
I did finish it. Well, I just have to sew ends in, but basically it's done.
I really like that. That turned out great.
So there is my Florencia tee. This is a pattern by Knit Toronto. I don't know, we've got a banner here somewhere. There we go. So it's the Florencia pullover by Claudia Quintanilla. We are doing a knit along in conjunction with Knit Toronto at the moment. So for units, their pattern that they're using is just the Florencia tee. Okay. So you have to sign up. I have put links in the show notes and I will put them in again. You do have to sign up, but they do have, it goes till the end of August, but they're giving away 3 $100 gift cards for the Knit store in Toronto. So good prizes if you get one done.
Mm-hmm.
If you just want to do a Knit or Claudia Quintanilla pattern, you can enter our knit along. We are running ours until the end of September. And you can knit any of the Knit Toronto patterns for that one. And, but if you get your Florencia, if you do a Florencia and you enter ours, you can enter it twice. But to enter units, you have to be done by August 31st, and it has to be the Florencia. Okay, so mine is done in Amelia and Philomene. This is Madame Philippon, and this color is called Sage Blanc, which I think is like white sage. It's a really pretty.
It's not showing up on screen. It looks pretty gray to me, but it's actually
it's actually a real. I don't know if that makes it any better. It's a really pretty. Well, it's a really pretty like greenish gray, pale greenish gray, and it is a really nice color. I'm really happy with it. Changes that I made, I cast on provisionally, and then I picked up and knit the rib down. And I think it called for 2.5 inches of rib, and 2 inches was enough. I didn't need to have 2.5 inches. And then there's no short rows in it. So I did do a few short rows at the back neck before I did the ribbing. And I made my neck a little bit tighter. So it is actually tight to get on, but I knew that because this is the cotton merino, there's going to be stretch in it. And I didn't want it all shaping out. So I did go down a few more stitches in my neck before I did the rib. And there is in the pattern, I had a little bit of difficulty with the pattern and where to place the repeats looking at the pattern. So visually, I knew where the triangle should go. So I went by where I knew they should go so that they would be centered. Same thing when I got up to here. Now you do have to do the right number of repeats in the pattern so that you get this line here with your triangles when you're doing the raglan decreases.
Right.
But occasionally mine were like, I thought they weren't centered as much as they should be. So what I would do is increase one stitch on one side and decrease one stitch on the other side so that that distance between the two stayed the same. So you don't have to worry about anything on the sleeves because the sleeves are all stocking stitch.
Yes.
And the sleeves are knit separately, and then you join up the whole yoke. So your first couple of rows when you do that are a little bit tight around your needle until you get that give. That's what's nice about a top down is you don't have that because you take your sleeve stitches off before you finish the body.
Yes.
Now, I had a viewer from over in Europe contact me, and she was doing this sweater, and genius, she worked it out so that she could do it top down. And she's finished it already. It looks amazing. And what she also did too, and I've asked her, I just got another email from her today. So I didn't have time to get a response, but she's got pictures and I really want to show them, but I want to get her permission first. But for her back, all she did for the back was put one little triangle right in the center back. And then the rest of her back was all stocking stitch. So she only had all the pattern on the front. And it looked amazing. You just had this little thing at the back of the neck, one little triangle. Yeah. But then, so then it made the front seem like special. And then your whole back is just like your, like it looked really good. So hopefully I can share those pictures and I can show you that next week. And she did it in this gorgeous gold color. And it turned out beautifully, but she engineered it. So it looks really good. Just knitting it top down. So
wow.
There you go. So if you don't like something, there's a way to kind of switch it around and do it the other way.
Yes. Yeah. Where
Isabel,
there's a will,
I don't know if she's on Ravelry. She emailed me, but I will find out. I did message her back, and hopefully I'll get that answer, and I will put that information on there if I get it. So yeah, so I will hopefully have some finished wearing photos next week. I just got to sew my ends in and block it. And this only took 1.33 skeins of the Emily. No, it isn't. No, I'm lost again. Amelia and Philomene.
Yes.
It only took 1.33 skeins of the cotton merino. This yarn is a 50% cotton, 50% merino. It feels amazing.
It's a beautiful yarn to knit with.
But that was my only FO for this week.
I've got that pattern stuck in my head now. I love that idea. I've only done 2 rows of my diamonds, of my triangles. I'm not tearing it out, but boy, I really like that idea of the plain back.
I know if I had have seen that before I did mine, who knows? Maybe I'll do another one.
You might do another one.
Top down and do it top down.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So, good. Anyway. So that's our only finished object for this podcast. So I actually spent a few days this week with grandchildren, and we went to like a hotel that had like big pool with like waterfalls and stuff for kids and a huge big play area. And Jacqueline and Mike were working, so I took Zoe, and Curtis and Rachel had Molly and Isla. So the girls had a really good time, but I did get some knitting done, but obviously not as much as I would normally get done. But we had a lot of fun. So we went to Colasantes, went to a petting zoo. So it was fun. And I also took Zoe to Little Red Mitten. So I'm just going to pop this in. We went to Little Red Mitten and found a couple of things. Well, I didn't buy anything there, but we found this. Zoe got this little, it's actually a little cotton rabbits pattern.
It's so cute.
The massage place next to Little Red Mitten, I think someone that's related to someone that runs the massage studio makes them and sells them. And they had a couple of them in Little Red Mitten, and Zoe was looking at them, and I'm like, Zoe, I am not knitting one of those. So, but then I've got another one here. She took it. So here's this little one too. This is one I got one for all the girls.
Oh my gosh, that's adorable.
This one is for Penelope. So anyways, I said to Zoe, I said, I'm not making one of those. Well, then she took the doll and she had it in her arms and she was going like this.
So cute.
I just said, stop, just stop that.
It's
so then Jolynn says, well, the girl next door at this place sells them. So I thought, okay, because I mean, this is Little Cotton Rabbits. I won't say easily, but I could make this. But anyways, we went over and she had quite a few of them. So Penelope's has this blue dress on. Zoe picked one with a yellow dress, and we picked one out for Molly and Isla, and they're just the cutest things. And like, look at the little shoes.
I don't know how she parts with them. They're adorable.
I know. The little buttons on the shoes, the buttons all come off. The little dress got a little keyhole at the back.
The bag she's carrying is adorable.
The little purse, right? The little purse comes off. She's got a little bow that's in her hair that comes off.
It's her Sophie scarf.
I know. And if you go on to Little Cotton Rabbits, she's got all sorts of outfits that you can knit for these dolls.
Oh my gosh.
And there's like the rabbit. She's got a bear. She's got she's got the cutest deer. It tells you how to make it into a deer. It's just, they're amazing. So
is it Little Cotton Rabbits?
I might make one. It's Little Cotton Rabbits. I might make one time just to see how long it would take me to make one. But
I think I may have already purchased that pattern.
Well, and then there's like different, she's got like all seasons dresses. She's got all the different little purses. She's got different accessories and shoes. And so I can definitely see I would make the girls some new dresses or some new clothes. There's even little rompers for them.
Mm-hmm.
So
Lindsay's
all
in
the
here.
Ones that,
Lindsay said that she's knitted quite a few of the Little Cotton Rabbits. Yeah. Oh my goodness, they're adorable.
I know. Like, how could you? I don't know how you could make them and give them away. Well, to grandchildren maybe, but
to grandchildren.
Anyway, adorable. So,
but you could make some different dresses and outfits.
Yeah, just to make. And you've also always got little bits of like sock yarn left over. Yeah, and of course, Zoe goes, "Can you make her pajamas?" No, Zoe. No.
Oh goodness.
Anyway,
are the shoes felted? A couple of people are asking, are the shoes felted?
No, they're just.
I think it's just a very heathered yarn.
It's a very heathered yarn, and I think it's knit at a tight gauge.
Okay, and Heather's saying that she made one as well for Annie, and she said it wasn't as bad as she expected. It is really cute.
Well, yeah, but Heather, I would have had to make 4. So. Anyway, so that was, and she does have a website. I will put that in, but I don't know, like I looked at the website, it doesn't look like there's stuff available for sale on the website, but there's contact information, and she actually makes all the little clothes and stuff to go with them too. So, but
I've made a few of them. There are a few people in here now chatting. Sarah says she really likes the way that all of the animals are the same size, so the clothing is interchangeable. Yes. And Lori said that she's done some by Susan B. And I've done some of the Susan B. toys for Miles as well. And they don't take that long. I mean, they don't take as long as a sweater, but they definitely, it's not an afternoon project. Let's just say that. You are going to put some time into it, but they're just adorable.
They are. So, yeah. So, anyway. So, what are you working on?
Well, I'm working on packing because we're heading out on Friday. We're going to go and visit the kids in BC for a week. So we will be out there in the Chilliwack area and hanging out with Mr. Miles. He's been learning T-ball this week. So he's got his stance down and he takes a big mighty swing and he hits and the ball flies, but so does the T-ball stand and everything else. He's hitting everything, but he's doing really well. So we're excited to see him. So I have to decide what I can pack to take. Unfortunately, I'm working on a lot of the projects that I'm working on right now are like big sweaters, and space is at a premium. So, because we're only going to take one suitcase. So I'm not really sure what I'm going to take. I may have to start a few smaller projects, but I'll show you what I've been working on.
The Florencia is not big.
No, but I'm alternating yarn. So it is still a sweater and 2 skeins.
That's just 2 100-gram skeins, so.
Yeah, I guess. Maybe that's a good idea. Although that's something that I would definitely have to pay attention to the pattern. But I did put in some work on my Salty Air tee this week. I actually only have maybe another inch or so before I'm going to get ready to do the ribbing to cast off. If I had been diligent this week, I probably could have had it done. Every time I see this sweater,
it's pretty. I like that color.
It's very bright, but I really, really like it. And I did try it on yesterday. It was the first time that I had tried it on. So I wanted to see how it was going, and the fit is really good. The lace looks really nice on it. Of course, the sleeves are going to be short, so it's going to take no time at all to finish the sweater. So I probably won't take this one with me if it's not finished, only because if I'm this close to finishing it, it's just like an extra thing to drag out there and drag back.
Yeah.
But I should definitely have it. Well, next week, I guess we'll be podcasting. I'll be there. So you won't see it done next week. It'll be something probably when I get back, but really close to finishing it anyway. And it's been a joy to knit. Yeah.
I know. I really got to do something in the linen quill.
I really like it. I really like it. It's a beautiful yarn, and it has a nice, a really nice weight to it. I'm excited to see it blocked. Okay. What are you? I've got two other things, so I'll let you go.
Okay. So when I went to Little Red Mitten, I'm doing a couple of samples for them. So one sample that they asked me to do is just a plain vanilla sock, but it's the yarn that they wanted to showcase. So this yarn is, I don't know how new it is. I've seen it. I think I've seen it there before, but this is from Manos del Uruguay. And this is let's hold it up there. Can you see the stripes there?
Yes. Yeah.
This is the Alegria Super Pool. So it's kind of like almost like little micro stripes of like a whole bunch of different colors. It doesn't pool. You just get kind of the nice striping. And
it's beautiful. I love it.
It comes with a little mini just in a different color. So this one came with the blue mini, even though there's not really a blue that's in the thing, but it just goes with it. And this color is called Clown. So it's going to have, I put my markers in for the heel. So it's going to have the blue heel. It's got the blue toe. And I forgot how much I loved knitting with Alegria.
Like, it's beautiful.
It's just, it just feels amazing. It really does. And again, this is one, and I've got another sock to compare it to. I did the same thing. I did the alternating cable cast on because it's like my new favorite. And again, I brought up a 64 stitch sock that I did with
Plug your ears, Isabel.
And again, look, like the stretch is just as good. So really happy with how that's working out. This was just fun. It was just plain knitting, but it's just fun just to see the stripes.
I love that yarn. I love that yarn.
I really like it. And they had it in a whole bunch of really neat colors.
But I love that yarn.
I know. Like I would think I would knit myself a pair of socks in yarn like this. So I might have to pick out one of the colors. They have one that's got like a really nice burgundy and gold and stuff in it.
It would look good with all of my clogs. I love that.
I know. I do like it. Anyway, and I really do like the Alegria yarn. It feels amazing.
Really
it's
nice.
Like, it's soft. It's nice. So I know I've knit with it before, and I know I knit my mom's socks with it, and they were some of her favorite socks to wear because the yarn's nice and soft on your foot, and yet it's still washed well because like when she was in the retirement home, everything just got thrown into the wash and it washed fine. So
okay, here's a staggering statistic for you. Kim tells us there is 1,877 pairs of socks in the FO thread on our Knits and Pieces forum on Ravelry. That's 37,540,000 stitches averaged on 20,000 stitches per pair. That's a lot of knitting. That's a lot of
stitches.
That's some big math, Kim. Big math.
Anyway. Okay, so what are you working on?
Okay. Also, I am working on my Florencia tee, which is definitely not anywhere near done. So I've done 2 repeats of the diamonds. They're not diamonds, they're triangles. Why do I keep
triangles?
Triangles. And mine is in the colorway Rita, which is a gray blue. And I really like it. I'm alternating the skeins because I can definitely see some difference in the dye. And I think you did that as well, didn't you?
I did. Yeah. You would have seen, if I hadn't, you would have seen a definite line where I switched. So
yeah. So I am alternating. And so that's something that you kind of have to figure out your own best way to do, because she doesn't address that in the pattern. She's not thinking that you're going to have to carry a yarn, but I'm carrying mine sort of, I think, close to what you did too. I'm sort of going up the side of one of the triangles. So in the back, it just looks like this, where it's going up, traveling up. It's really not noticeable from the front.
It's hard to get this on. Can you see that?
Yes.
Yeah. So it just goes right up. So yeah, you can't see it from the front. I mean, sometimes it's even hard enough to see it, like when
find it in the back. Yeah.
But that's because you can't really do the helical when you've got a pattern like that. So you've got to find some other way to kind of carry it up.
Yeah. But I'm really happy with this. I will say the bottom up sweater, it's not my favorite sweater style to do. I do like to go from the top down, and that's just out of comfort, because that's what I'm used to doing. And I will also say that, like, we switched up and we did twisted ribbing too on ours, and I didn't do 2.5 either. I did 2. I thought 2 was plenty enough for the ribbing, but that seemed like it took me forever. I swear I worked on that for a week, and it never looked like I got any further. But and it's on smaller needles too, because it's a 3.25. The pattern does call for you to switch up to the 3.5, and I stayed at the 3.25. When I swatched, I came in really close with both. I swatched with both needles, and I basically got the same stitch gauge with both. But with the row gauge, I came a lot closer to the row gauge on the 3.25 than I did the 3.5. So I stayed with that. And I'm really happy with how it's working out so far. So,
well, I did my body of my sweater is 3.25, but my rib is 2.75.
Okay.
So, but I did want that, especially when you do it and do the provisional, like it looked so wide till I put the bottom on. So I really wanted it to kind of come in. That's why I went to the 2.75, and it still does have like a lot of stretch in it.
Yeah.
So, and that was because I also wanted a tubular cast off, and that was before I knew how to do the alternating cable cast on. So I don't like starting a tubular cast on with 220 stitches. So
it's a lot of
that's
stitches.
why I thought, okay, well, I'll just do a provisional, and then I'll be able to do a tubular cast off to match like the sleeves and
yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Do you, I have something else. Do you have something else?
Yeah. I just started a new project.
Okay, go ahead.
This morning. Because, why not? Okay. So this is what I am doing. This is called the Manis by Yamagari.
Oh, that's so pretty.
There you go. The Manis by Yamagara. And I am doing it in, whoops, I'm caught another yarn here. Okay, so I am doing mine in my leftovers from my Wilfreda sweater.
Okay.
Which is, which I did in the flat black care by the Knitting Loft. So I had 49 grams left. So that's what I'm using for the bottom color. And then my top color is this Fleece Artist Zambezi.
Oh,
and
that's
this
really
is a 70% mohair, 30% silk. And this is, I used it in a, held with another yarn in a cardigan. So here's what I've got so far.
Oh, that's beautiful. I like that.
Yeah, so I'm really liking how it's working
Very
out. So
pretty.
It's kind of got the feather and fan border down at the bottom, and then I've started to stripe in the mohair, and it goes for a few stripes, and then the remainder of it goes to this mohair. So you do kind of adjust the size as you go up. Your needles keep getting bigger and bigger, but I've got enough of this that I think I might do the calculations and keep it on a smaller needle so that the holes in the mohair aren't too far apart. I'll just look at what the stitch count is, figure out what that's supposed to be in inches, and adjust accordingly. So that's my plan. So I've got one more. I think I've got 2 more of the black stripes, and then it moves into the body and so I'll see what I'm getting as far as the tension goes in this. And then I think I'll adjust it so that I can keep it so that it's not too loose.
Yeah,
Because it's going to be
beautiful.
sheer enough just with single mohair in the fabric without going up to, like, I think they have you go up to like an 8mm needle, and that's going to be way too loose for me. So yeah, so we all know that I like my care so much that I didn't want to have this much left. And that seemed, I don't know how I found that, but it seemed like the perfect pattern to use it up in. And again, it'll be another nice little sweater just to put on over a black dress or a little black tank top, or, and it's using up 2 leftover yarns. So even though this one's technically not stashed because I got it this year.
Okay, I've got another one on the go here. So I didn't do a whole lot on this one this week, but I am down now into the body by about 4 inches. I think this one is going to be a full-size sweater, though, like not a crop. So I do have a little bit of knitting. This one might come with me, maybe. So this is the Wilfreda by Venka Rolled, and I'm using the Holst light gray, or no, not light gray. Sorry, it is silver gray. And then I have the Leo and Roxy mohair, and it's their colorway wallpaper, which she dyed up based on the wallpaper that's at the front of their store.
In the store, yep.
And this was the one that I did so much swatching for, and then decided on this one here at the bottom, but I'm actually not going to tear this swatch out. I'm going to keep it and hang it up on my pegboard because there's not a swatch color on there that I didn't like.
No, they're all nice.
Then I will have sort of a reference going back, because maybe in the future I want to make a different sweater. This one here is really calling to me. And this one I held with cinnamon, which is a color that I wouldn't have thought to put with it. But, I was just trying everything. And I do really like it. But it's a very different aesthetic than what I had envisioned for this sweater. So this one with the light gray, I love. And I think I'm really going to get a lot of wear out of this one. This is very similar to like a ranunculus style sweater, or also a love note. So it's just got that one very nice cable. And I love the cable that's up there. It's it was fun to do, really fun to do. So
yeah, I could see doing another one of those too.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. Do you have anything else?
I have one more. I haven't started it yet, but this is another one that I was asked to do for Leo and Roxy. So this is the Simple Sweater by Tin Can Knits. And I'll just show you a couple of pictures here. This is, I think for them, it's relatively new. So it's basically just a simple pullover, but it is a round yoke, as opposed to their flax that a lot of people have done is a raglan shaping. This one is just a round yoke. So then they've shown you this, but then you can also do this with it, where you put in some stripes at the top in the yoke and then just finish it in a single color. Or they also had this where you could do it just with a plain body, but then you could put one, like you separate for your sleeves. And then when you put your sleeves down, you use like a self-striping sock yarn or a patterned sock yarn.
That's awesome. I like that idea too. Yes.
The pattern also comes, it gives you instructions for fingering weight, sport weight, DK, Aran, and worsted weight. So you've got charts for all of them, and you can work out whatever type of weight you want to work the sweater in. So for Jolene, I'm doing just a shorty version, and it will be in like the worsted weight, because it's going to be an 18 stitch gauge. But here's the Leo and Roxy yarns that I'm doing it in. So it's going to go like this.
Oh, that's fun.
So yes. So the top one, I believe, is Barbie Girl. This one is Barbie Girl. This one is Password. And this one is Tranquil. So it's going to go like this, but there's going to be 4 stripes. So it's going to start with the Barbie Girl, go to the Password, then to the Tranquil, but then it's going to end with the Barbie Girl.
Okay.
And so it's just going to be a little short sweater. It's going to have short sleeves, and it's all going to get held with this.
Ooh.
So this is the mohair in, again, the same colors, the Barbie Girl, the Password, and the Tranquil. And their mohair, if you go to their site now too, the Leo and Roxy site, their mohair now comes, you can buy it in 20-gram skeins instead of the 50-gram skeins. So if you're doing something that you only need a little bit of mohair for, which there are, like if you look at that Floodlight Tee by Tanis Lavely, it only takes a little bit of mohair at the top. So now you can buy those in a 20-gram skein as opposed to in the 50-gram skein. Or if you were doing something like this that's striped. Now for this one, I've got 2 of each. I may not need all of that, but yeah, so that this is going to get skeined up, and I'm going to start on this tomorrow because I have to have this done. I have to have this done before they go to Kitchener. And since I'm leaving on the 2nd of September, I have to have it done before then and drop it off. So I got to get that started. But yeah, and this is their, so this is their mohair, silk mohair blend. And then this is their natural sock. So the natural sock is a non-superwash, and I love working with the natural sock and the mohair together. It produces a beautiful fabric.
It's beautiful yarn.
So that is my tomorrow cast on.
Well, you know what else this would look nice with? I was thinking when you showed this one here, do you remember the yarn that I bought in Kitchener? Is it
Knit Therapist?
Is it Knit Therapist or Yarn Therapist? Yes. Yeah. And she creates the yokes for the sweater, like the color work yokes. And that would be a good idea too for a fast kids knit. Yeah.
Yep.
Joanne
has asked here about my field sweater. And yes, Joanne, I'm still working on it. It's just I've got so many other things that I cast on that it's kind of got set aside because it's kind of too warm to wear it right at the moment anyway. But a lot of these sweaters that are at the point where I just have bodies to do will be sweaters that are coming on vacation with me, so that it's just mindless knitting in the car.
That's right. Yeah. I've got a couple of those on the go too. And then I'm thinking, well, it won't take very long to finish those up. And then when you're finished, it's like, oh, hey, I knit a sweater, but really the sweater's been languishing. I've got one more thing that I haven't cast on yet. And I did talk about it last week. So I just wanted to pop that up in here tonight. So this is the, I guess it's not going to let us. I thought we could peek out from behind, but I guess we can't. This is the Eggcorn Sweater by Claudia Quintanilla again. And I'm going to make this one for Miles. So I'm using the Barocco Vintage DK yarns, and I'm thinking about the blue for the body with that color work around the body in the green. I like the way this is contrasting. Just to show you this again. So the green will be, you can't see where my mouse is pointing. The green will be at the bottom of the sweater, and also just before the yoke starts. And then I've got the cream for the yoke. And of course I've got this color for the nuts, and I'll just have to get some dark brown. I've got tons of my knit pick stash that I can probably hold double. So this is all the DK from Barocco. We really like using this for our children's knits. Firstly, the yarn is gorgeous and it's quite heathered, which I really like. It gives a very luxury look to the garment and at a great price. This is also 52% acrylic and 40% wool, 8% nylon, and it's a super wash. So for gift knitting, if it does end up in the washer and the dryer, it's still going to be okay. Kendall knows that she probably shouldn't put it in the dryer, but so I was going to cast this on, and then it's a bottom up sweater again. And then I kind of lost my mojo to do it, but I might try
and figure out if you can do it top down.
I know I probably could do that. It would be easy enough to reverse that pattern, I think. But what I might do is I may, at the very least, take with me, skein up the blue, cast it on quickly, do my little bit of color work in this, and then take all of that with me, because then it will just be small circumference knitting to get the body and the sleeves done. And then by the time I got home, I'd have all the fun stuff of the color work to do to finish off the sweater. So yeah, it's a cute pattern. So yeah, it's really cute.
Okay, that's all I have. I haven't worked on anything else this week.
Okay.
So I know I have lots of sweaters that I need to get finishing. But I always find new things that just go, cast me on. So anyway, we all know your knitting should be fun and you should be knitting what you want to knit.
Well, but
Should bring you
you know,
joy.
when you've committed to something, like you've cast something on, you should be finishing it or at least putting in some effort.
Anyways, I mean,
So
I know
like
that things will get finished. So.
And I did try to work on all of the sweaters this week. So even though I didn't put in a lot of knitting hours, I did work on everything. So I felt pretty good about that. Yeah.
So Barb says, what's my whip count now? I don't know, Barb. I can't knit that high. I don't know. I'm like 65. My memory's going. I can't remember.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's up there. It's up there. It's definitely double digits.
Okay.
So
I am, I'm just going to say I've been really cleaning up my stash down here because I had like the overflow totes that I will stash later. And I never seem to drag myself back to, which is dangerous ground because you forget what you have. And so I've been trying to get that done in this past week. I really put some time in, and let's just say I'm way more comfortable with my whip count than I am my stash count on Ravelry, and I'm not done yet. So I have no business buying yarn for the rest of my life, if we're being honest, but I know I will. So I'm not even going to try to attempt to say that I won't.
okay.
So.
Did you buy anything this week?
I didn't this week. No, I behaved. I did get linen in, though.
I did.
You did? Show us what you bought.
Okay, well, the Colasantes that we went to was in Kingsville. Well, guess what else is in Kingsville? I went to Shall We Knit. Shall We Knit is the yarn store that used to be in
right. In Kitchener. Yes.
And then they moved. So Zoe and I, before we met everybody at Colasantes, we went to Shall We Knit. So I did pick up a couple of things.
Just a couple.
Okay. Just a couple. So this is the first thing I got. So this is a skein. This is Pasquale balayage. It is baby alpaca and wool. It is 80% baby alpaca, 20% wool. It's a fingering weight. It's just a 50-gram skein. They had a Sophie scarf done in it. It just absolutely feels amazing.
It's beautiful.
And it's just like so pretty. It's got like just these little specks of color in it.
It's pretty, really pretty.
Just was, I don't know if it's got a color name on it. Pucallpa. Anyways, that's the name. So that's that skein. And then they had, I had not seen this before. I'm sure lots of people have, but this is Lang Yowl Twin. And I know I've seen the Lang Yowl sock yarn before, but look at this. It's a fade.
Oh, look at that. That is nice.
And it fades into the pink. So there's what the label looks like and shows you kind of what the sock knits up
that's
like.
pretty.
So
that's really pretty.
They're 50-gram skeins. So I just thought it was really cute. And this, you could also actually alternate this and do a baby sweater. And I think it would make a really cute little baby sweater that would just fade.
It would. Mm-hmm.
So, okay. And then the other thing I got, the last thing, because we're always looking for yarns that seem to be the equivalent of Spin Cycle.
Yes.
So this is Queensland Rainbow Beach. It is a pure Australian superwash wool. It is a sport weight yarn. There's 328 yards in here. This color is called Woolagon.
I love it. That's
so really pretty.
Nice.
$22.
Wow.
For a 100-gram skein.
That's a great price.
And then the other color I got is called doesn't say. It's got the name taken off it, but it's a really pretty color.
Mm-hmm. Very pretty.
Cover my face. There you go. There you can see it now.
I like that a lot. That's
nice.
Yeah.
So like I'm interested to see how that will work out. It says pure Australian superwash wool. So it doesn't really feel like merino, but it's not rough. but it just doesn't have that really soft merino feel. Like it feels like it should have good grip in color work. So I'm anxious to see how those knit up. So that was it. I'm terrible. I feel like I can't ever go into a yarn store and not come out with something.
Well,
like, don't you feel like that?
Okay, but here's the thing. Like, how many times does somebody go on vacation and they buy another t-shirt? They know they don't need another t-shirt, but they're like, oh, well, I'm away and I want to go home with this souvenir t-shirt. So you're bringing home souvenirs. And I also love this comment that Brigitte just put in. She said she's not a yarn hoarder. She provides shelter for homeless yarn. Oh, Noelle's frozen. Uh-oh.
I think we both froze there.
Okay.
I'm not a yarn hoarder. Oh, yeah, I just provide shelter for homeless
I just provide shelter for homeless yarn. I love that. I love that. I'm going to totally steal that, Brigitte. Totally.
Anyway.
Let me say, there's a lot of shelter going on down here in this room. A lot of shelter. So.
Yep. So I know, but there's just so many things out there to knit, and there's so many nice new yarns that come out. I've actually got to really go through mine, and there's probably yarn that I can probably donate that I'm probably not ever going to knit with. I'll have to look through it and see. So,
yes.
But it is nice to have souvenirs. And I mean, those yarns that I bought there, they're yarns that I haven't seen anywhere else. Not that I won't see them somewhere else again, but.
Well, here's the thing, Noelle, it doesn't matter because in 6 months, you're going to go somewhere else and there's still going to be more new yarn that you've never seen that you want to knit with.
I know. Two separate hobbies.
That's right, Marianne. What about souvenir spoons? That was such a thing. Such a thing.
It was.
Shot glasses were like a thing too. Like, oh, bring me back a shot glass everywhere you go, right? And then, you know, they're not as useful as sweaters and socks, in my opinion. So, anyway.
At least eventually this has the potential to become something.
Yes. Yeah. When it figures out what it wants to be, it's going to be amazing. Absolutely.
That's right.
And you can always make things and give away. And people who wouldn't love like some knitted beauty, right?
Yeah. And I mean, even these, like, even if you don't put them in a colorwork sweater, like that would make a nice hat.
I'm sure going to say they're really just pretty to put on a shelf and display and look at.
They are. Anyway. Yes, they are. So.
Yes, they are. Yes.
Okay. Well, we should talk about our knit-alongs.
Okay, just wait. I have one question to answer here. Sharon wants to know where do I get my linen? So the linen that I buy mostly, and the reason I buy it mostly there is just because the prices are amazing. It's called Pure Linen Envy. It's an online store. And it's in Canada, so I'm happy to promote that as well. And their prices are fantastic. Their linen is a very good quality, beautiful linen, and they have different weights of linen, so you can choose. The linen that I bought this time actually is their
everyday, not the everyday.
I went one lighter. I wanted to try it this time, so it was the. Is it Breeze? Summer Breeze. That's what it's called.
Okay.
So it would be something more that you might think of like for a shirt as opposed to a jumper dress. But I do have plans for it for a jumper dress. And I bought 5 colors which coordinate together. I've been very inspired lately by Justice of Thread and Sprout. If you're on Instagram, that's an inspiring feed to follow. And I want to make one of her nature style dresses. So I've got 5 beautiful coordinating colors. And then Sharon also asks where I get my clogs. The clogs that I have fallen in love with are called Lotta, Lotta, and they come from Sweden. And I find that the prices are very good. The shipping is very quick. And here in Canada, I've never paid duty. And they are a very good fit for my foot, and they're very comfortable. So, I mean, I certainly can't recommend that one shoe that's going to be perfect for everybody, but they certainly work really well for me. And I have quite a few pairs. Because they come in multiple colors and styles, and I just feel really good when I'm wearing my clogs. I like everything about them. So that answers that.
Okay.
Okay.
So we've talked about that. We talked about the Florencia cal.
Yes.
Okay. So the other cals that we have going on are our sock knit along. So our sock knit along, as someone mentioned, we've got like, what was it, over 37 million stitches in there already? Anyway, for the sock knit along, all that you have to do is knit, finish. All you have to do is finish socks. They don't even have to be started this year or the year
Nope,
before.
we don't care
or
when you started them.
All you have to do is finish the socks and get them in there. And we draw prizes monthly, but we go back to the beginning of the year for the entries. And then at the end of the year, we're going to have go back and pull one prize for a grand prize, or pull one pair of socks for a grand prize.
Yes.
The other knit along that we have that going on is our Smash That Stash. So our Smash That Stash, all you have to do is use yarn from your stash that was in your stash prior to January 1st, 2023. You have to use at least 50 grams of it. Whips are included. It can be weaving, it can be spinning, knitting. So just crochet. So just get it in there. In the Smasher Stash, we draw prizes on a quarterly basis. So the next prize will be for entries that were entered from July 1st to September 30th. And then at the end of the year, we will have a grand prize that we will draw for anybody that has entered a finished project in all 4 quarters.
And this is the grand prize.
Oh yeah, and the
happen
grand
to have
prize
it sitting here beside me, so I'll show it off.
Yes, the grand prize is from
Delaque,
and it is their shoulder satchel. I can't remember the actual name of it, but it's a really nice roll top bag. Yep, it's got all that, like the thread cutter in it. It comes with a darning needle. You've got stitch markers that hook onto a pin on the outside. It holds quite a bit of stuff. You can carry your project and your wallet or whatever in there.
Yeah, it's a beautiful bag.
So that will be
the color is petal pink.
Yes, it is. That will be the grand prize for the Smasher Stash. And then the remaining knit along that we have going is the Marie Wallin or the Makealongs. We are running that in conjunction with some other podcasts. The list is on the screen there. They have knit alongs going as well. The rules might be slightly different than ours, but ours, all you have to do is a Marie Wallin or a Susan Crawford pattern. There are mitts, gloves, hats, sweaters, jumpers, shawls, dresses. There's knit, there's crochet. So all you have to do is finish something. Marie Wallin actually has some like homeware type stuff too. Yeah, so lots to choose from. And those will be at the end of the year. Okay. And then there's also the Florencia Cal or the Unit Toronto Cal that's going on as well.
Right. Nikki's asking if children's socks count in the year-long sock along. Yes, they do.
I think we said you had to have a couple of pairs.
I thought it was just if they were baby socks, you had to have 2 pairs.
Okay. Yep.
Kim found a shop that stocks a lot of clogs in Australia.
Oh, an Aussie shop. Okay.
Yes. Okay.
Okay. So I think that's it. Now I have to clean up this desk.
I have to figure out what I'm going to take away.
Yeah.
So if you're in the Chilliwack area, reach out to me on Instagram. I'm sure there's time to knit. There's always time to knit. And I definitely love to meet new people. Or maybe if you're in the Chilliwack area, maybe there's a park that you like to knit at or something like that in the summer. Let me know where that is too, because that would be really fun to meet some other knitters who knit outside at a park. I love doing that. So yeah.
Sounds good. Okay. So even though Kelly will be in BC next week, we will still see you next week.
Yeah.
And yeah, so
that's the beautiful thing. Week. That is the beautiful thing. He still needs a sweater. That's the beautiful thing about Streamyard, the platform that we use.
Yet.
Yeah. It's so easy to travel. I mean, when Noelle even was in New Zealand, we were still able to stream using Streamyard. They're a fantastic platform. We love using them, and they really make it easy. So
Yep, because we'll be doing the same thing when I'm out east for a month.
Absolutely. So, yes. All we need is a stable internet connection and we are good to roll.
And that's gotten better. That's gotten better different places. It seems like we have more trouble with the time zone changes than we do with the internet connections. So, okay. So anyway, we hope you all have an amazing week. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you all next week. Happy knitting.
Happy knitting.